It's actually wild to sit here and see how selective Western outrage has become and how people only seem to care if Israel or the Jewish people are involved.
What this guy is about to say in this video will prove crystal clear that the media coverage of and the public outrage about the affairs in the Middle East is quite frankly a case of no Jews, no news.
Millions of people have died in conflicts around the world, but there is no attention, there is no media outrage because those wars aren't trending and because they don't involve Israel. Over 5.5 million people have died in Congo since 1990, which is the deadliest conflict since World War II, and most of them don't die from bullets or bombs, but from starvation, from disease, from collapse of basic infrastructure. Women there are raped in mass numbers, children are kidnapped and turned into soldiers, and entire villages are erased. But again, there is no outrage. In Syria, over 500,000 people are dead, and cities like Aleppo have literally been turned into rubble. Assad dropped barrel bombs on civilians and used chemical weapons that choked babies to death. Look what Russia is doing. They're striking hospitals and aid workers and literally targeting civilian infrastructure every single day. People are quiet. Sudan has seen another 500,000 people die from genocide and civil war. In Darfur, militias committed mass rape and slaughtered tons and tons of people. The SAF and the RSF are fighting right now in Khartoum, the capital of Sudan. These are two rival generals who are fighting, and civilians are constantly caught in the middle. They're executed, they're starved, and they're displaced constantly. In Yemen,
What he's saying there about Sudan, I mean, nobody is talking about it. It's not in the news. You don't see it anywhere. But what is going on there is absolutely horrifying. It's just as bad, if not worse, than what is going on in Gaza. Yet nobody is talking about it. Why? Because there are no Jews in the equation. If anyone has looked at the stats on illegal migrants coming to Europe lately, they will realize there is a huge uptick in numbers coming from Sudan. I wonder why. The lefties haven't looked into it because it doesn't involve Gaza.
400,000 plus people have died, mostly again from starvation, from cholera and airstrikes, and it's been actually called the worst humanitarian crisis on earth. Statistics show that a child dies roughly every 10 minutes there, and yet no one cares. No one posts about it. There is no outrage from the media. In
Muslims killing other Muslims. Nobody cares.
Afghanistan, more than 250,000 people have died, which includes tens of thousands of civilians. We've seen little girls and little boys being blown up on their way to school. We saw the Taliban hang people in town squares. And after the U.S. withdrawal, families literally sold their children to survive. All of this horror, these tragedies, which are real, brutal, and large scale, all get ignored. But of course, when Israel defends itself against Hamas, the world loses its mind. Every death in Gaza is tragic, but this is not a genocide, it's war, and one of the most precise, measured urban warfare campaigns in modern history, according to the numbers, not me. And the numbers of casualties and deaths in Gaza are worsened not by Israeli intent, but by the tactics that Hamas chooses to use and how they choose to fight. You should ask yourself, why does nobody seem to care about any of these other conflicts, and they're essentially silent, but when Israel is involved in a conflict, there's global obsession and outrage. It's simple. It's because the conflict involves Jews and Israel, and deep down, that's why so many people care. If you only care when Israel or Jews are involved, what does that make you?
Very well said. I mean, if you've got an alternative explanation as to why the media and the public only care about a war that involves Israel and are completely silent or almost completely silent about 10 times the number of people dying in places like Yemen, places like Sudan, places like the Congo. If there is a reason other than the fact that there are simply no Jews involved in those other wars, tell me. But as far as I can see, I cannot see a valid reason why people are so obsessed with what is going on in Gaza and not interested at all about, for example, Muslims killing other Muslims in other countries. Why is this? Why is it that every single thing Israel does, they are completely shredded to pieces in the media and by the left, who march on the streets every single Saturday about it? If they make one tiny little mistake, it is everywhere across the news. There's a whole propaganda machine going on that completely twists the stories about what is going on in Gaza, making up completely fake lies, claiming the Israelis are doing things that they are just absolutely not even doing. As that guy said there, this is one of the most, measured, careful cases of urban, modern urban warfare that we have. The Israelis are being more careful. They're going above and beyond their requirements by international law, putting themselves in danger, IDF soldiers putting themselves in danger to go in to places where there are Hamas terrorists who would like to kill the IDF, to try and get people out before they are about to launch attack on an area, for example. Yet they are demonized. And as that guy said, even if you do think the casualties are high in Gaza, the reason why they are high, they're not, but they're higher than they could be, is because of Hamas's tactics. Why does Israel get the blame? Why is it that Hamas don't get the blame for example, when civilians are trying to flee to a place of safety because the Israelis have told them to leave the area, that Hamas shoots its own people if they try to leave, because they want to use them as human shields. Hamas don't care about the people of Gaza, but Israel does. It is just really, as I said, you tell me if you think you've got another explanation, but to me, it seems like a case of no Jews, no news. Anyway, I'm Chloe Dobbs. Thank you for watching this video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel so you don't miss out on any more videos like this. See you next time.